problem. I still got plan C.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Hello! Plan C Podcast coming at you on a Tuesday morning. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Hope you're doing all right. Week 10 coverage for you on this delightful day. Thanks for coming to the show, listening, tapping in, plugging in, whatever you're doing. Thank you. This episode was fun. We had a Colts fan, AJ, and we had a Patriots fan. So we did a block, just a whole blanket on sort of the Pats, their future, what they should do, as well as talking a little bit about the game that was had. And then we followed it up with just some coverage of the rest of the slate. Crazy football week. We had so many one-score games. I think there was 11 one-score games out of the games that were played in. Goddamn, that was some great football. I certainly enjoyed it, and I hope you did too. As always, make sure you are liking, sharing, subscribing. Whether you're on Spotify, whether you're on YouTube, whether you're on Apple, give us a rating, give us a shout, that's what's up. Check us out on Twitter, check us out on Instagram, plan_C_podcast. That's where we are. Say what's up, give us a follow, give us a like, do whatever. It's, free country, all that, freedom of speech, whatever. Make sure you are watching the feed, because on Friday we have a new style of episode for you. Friend and I, won't say which friend it is, but we got together and we recorded a fun little podcast. It is just a 20-minute little satire-y podcast, so I hope you enjoy that and listen to it. That'll be on the feed on Friday. Anyway, I don't want to take too much of your time. Let's get to the episode. Thanks again for listening, and enjoy! And we are back. So much great football this weekend, and as you'll see in the title, we kind of wanted to break down one specific game. So we also have a guest host. So as normal, I am joined by AJ. AJ, what's going on?
Yo.
As you know, AJ is a Colts fan, and we are joined by resident Pats fan, Cade. Cade, welcome to the show, man.
Howdy.
So I definitely, I woke up and watched most of this game, unfortunately, no offense. And man, that was one of the games of all time. I'm sure the fans in Frankfurt, Germany were there. So I'm gonna let y'all take it away. What were your thoughts on the game, and just sort of what it means for Bill Belichick going forward?
Yeah, I didn't think it was gonna be a good game.
This is where you answer the question.
Am I going first?
Yeah, go first.
Okay. I mean, it turned out pretty much how I expected it to. Mac Jones just absolutely playing the worst football in the history of football. It was depressing to see. Not depressing for me, because I could really give a shit, but more depressing for the loyal Pats fans in Boston who, want Mac Jones's head on a pike. I mean, we can all agree to that, yeah? Not that violence is the answer.
I still believe in it.
Mac is definitely on his way to the XFL. Let's be real.
Yeah. But I mean, the thing is, now, I believe I was one of the very few to see this unraveling when he first put on that Patriots at draft day. I mean, I could recount just being in absolute awe of the fact that we picked him in the first place. Everybody predicted it. And I knew it was going to
remember that, yeah.
And, I mean, AJ, you were there. But what did they see in him when they first drafted him? It doesn't make any sense to me. This dude is a Bama quarterback. And we all know when you're drafting a Bama quarterback, you're rolling the dice. We all know that. There's been a history of Bama quarterbacks
Shut up, Bryce Young.
on the national championship teams that fail to produce at the NFL level. Now, the few expectations are, Jalen Hurts, who had a rough beginning, right? And I believe that is it. Right?
Hey, don't throw some respect on AJ McCarron's name. No.
Well,
AJ McCarron's only famous for his girlfriend.
That's
real.
That we're going to get into. It's, a good comparison, right, to Mac Jones is Greg McElroy or McElroy. I think it's McElroy. I mean, the dude.
The dude from the Jets?
I don't know where he played at.
I know who you're talking about. I have not thought about that person in forever. That's pretty crazy.
Exactly. He's on the path to obscurity, much like Greg himself. So, I mean, the thing that bugs me the most, Colin, all right, is that the guy who's our co-host in this podcast was like, oh my God, that's going to be a good pick for you guys. That's a fantastic pick, dude. He's good. I'm like, dude, are you fucking joking me? I can't tell you how irate I was that day or the days following up to the draft and his rookie season as well, just hearing that over and over. Like, dude, he's good. But I mean, a lot of the times with sports, everybody thinks they can predict the future. I don't think I can by any means. But, I mean, the writing was on the wall, right? Everybody was telling me, dude, that was a good draft pick. I mean, no. There's no way. This dude has zero athletic ability. He looks like a fucking, I don't even know, anomaly, you know what I mean? And his fucking middle name's McCorkle. Now, what kind of guy do you want under center? Zero arm strength. Zero QB IQ. I mean, God.
If I'm not mistaken, his first name is McCorkle. To make it even worse.
Yeah.
I believe that's what Mac is short for. Okay, look.
So tell me why you thought he was a good quarterback coming out of the draft.
I mean, he had, and you're right. Looking back at it, obviously it's hard to make an argument now, hindsight, right? He coming out. I mean, any Bama quarterback, like Colin just said, we're seeing it with Bryce Young now. It's hard to predict because they have so much talent around them. Regardless, it's hard to get a good gauge on it. The dude put up ridiculous numbers his last year at Bama. That was a stronger class. I thought he was one of the stronger quarterbacks coming out that year. I thought he was going to go into a good situation. This was right after Tom Brady left, right? The very first season. This was still the time where we thought Bill Belichick was the greatest of all time and he was always going to win. It was going to be such a great situation. But I put more of this, and he had a good rookie year. They went to the playoffs. He put up good numbers. But I kind of looking back at it, man, he's kind of been put in a pretty poor situation, dude. He has his best receiver he's had on that team since he's been there is who? Devontae Parker? Who is it? Pop Douglas now?
Pop Douglas is pretty fucking nice.
He's playing good, but he's a 5'8", 6-round rookie, dude. They're not, and it might have been you, Cade, this weekend, who said something like it's not all on Bill Belichick, right? Was that you that said that to me?
No, that wasn't me. Because
someone told me that this week.
Because honestly,
it's not all on him.
It is a lot. I mean, a good amount.
No, this is 100% on Bill. This is Bill makes the decisions. He's the GM.
He's the GM. Yeah, he's doing everything. So I mean, you kind of almost got a feel for him. I don't think he was put in a good position. They had a defensive coach, Matt Patricia, as his offensive coordinator last year. But at the same time, Mac Jones he's just kind of such a little bitch the way he plays the last couple of weeks.
I mean, dude, he put a game. That game was in his hands twice. And then that third time was obviously Bailey Zapp. But it's like you can't fucking close in the red zone, man. Like the fucking throws he threw were horrendous.
They're pretty bad.
And he doesn't have like any arm strength. And I heard some reports that he was kind of dinged up a bit. But I mean, still, I mean, thrown into double coverage like that, and he is fucking terrible, man.
So I
But
mean,
a lot of it, I mean, I would say 80% of it is on Bill, 100%. But here's the thing. Here,
80%, 100%.
here's the
All
thing.
right, sorry.
He is trying to replicate a lot of the offensive schemes based around how he built Tom Brady. Now, Tom Brady, you put anybody in the fucking slot or wide, that dude, or at the tight position, that dude's going to make that dude an all-star. We all know that. We witnessed it for 20 years, right?
Yeah, Julian Edelman is probably going to be a Hall of Famer because of Tom Brady.
Exactly. Like, there were so many. Do you guys remember that one receiver? Fucking Christ, I can't. All of a sudden, I'm blanking on his name.
White dude?
No, he was number 85, Kendall something. Something.
Kenbrell Tompkins.
Kenbrell Tompkins?
Yeah, do you remember that guy?
Yes, because oh my God, when the Saints and the
Yeah.
Patriots played in like 2014, Brady, it was a really great game, and Brady like hit him in the back of the end zone with 4 seconds
remember that
left.
catch.
Oh my God. I
Yeah.
was watching with my family, and my family, they're not Saints fans, but I am, and they were like, oh damn, like Tom Brady. And I was like, Tom Brady.
Exactly. Now, Bill knew that, like he was like, I can put anybody on that fucking field. Tom's gonna make him a goddamn legend. Like that was his highlight for his entire life. After that, I don't know where the fuck he went, bounced around. But I mean, that's the case here. It's like you can't do that. And Bill's known for being like this mad genius, right? He goes in, he's like, maybe if I give this, unknown guy a contract here and a guy here, then some magical happens and we'll focus on defense and shit like that. I mean, that's just not the case anymore. And I mean, there's some serious offensive upheaval that needs to happen, for the time being.
So I mean, okay, a couple questions, right? I guess first, what do you want to have? I mean, you like you mentioned, you could kind of care less. It seems like since Tom Brady's left, you've kind of cared a little less and less, which is understandable. The team's been boring. No offense, they've been a little harder to watch. I mean, if you're going to suck and be in a position to get a quarterback, which the Patriots currently hold the top 5 pick for sure, if not the number 3 pick. I have to look at the updated rankings or the updated standings. This now would be the year to do it, right? A couple generational quarterbacks: Drake May, Caleb Williams. We saw Mac Jones be benched 3 times. This is the 3rd time already he's been benched this year. Just got benched against the Colts in a potentially game-tying situation. What do you even want to happen? Do you want Bailey Zappi to run it back the rest of the season? He just threw a horrible pick in a triple coverage on a fake spike.
Oh, that was hilarious. That was brilliant.
I mean,
that was theater. That was theater.
It was horrible. But as a Patriots fan, I mean, what do you want? You just want it to suck? You just want to suck for the rest of the year? Give Malik Cunningham a shot, see what happens? I mean, it's hard when you're in that spot.
Watching Bailey Zappi play that last down was actually the most I've probably watched the Patriots all year. Like, so. Because I was like, all right, all expectations are complete in the garbage. This will be fun. I mean, that Cam Newton year, I actually watched the entire season. I was like, I don't know what the fuck's going to happen, but this dude's got swag. I've always liked Cam, and it was fun to watch. I mean, I think we could have made the playoffs that year, but he fucked us in a couple of games. But it was still fun to watch because there was zero expectation. And with Mac Jones, everybody had, Patriots are going to go back into the Patriots way and get back into the playoffs. First thing, Patriots way is fucking stupid. Okay?
Oh.
About football player, I fucking hate being there. What is this militant type bullshit,
A lot of players do.
But I don't know. I mean, like I said, I've fallen deeply out of love with football for quite some time. I mean, I'll keep tabs. So, I mean, getting Marvin Harrison Jr. would be pretty tight.
Who's throwing to him though?
Well, that's where I'm coming to. So the quarterbacks, I don't see a lot of quarterbacks that I do like coming out of this draft. I can see us getting that Penix dude in the second round, maybe.
That'd
I
be
mean,
different from what the Patriots roll with typically.
yeah, I know. I can think of one reason why too, but I
He's lefty.
yeah, that's it. I don't know. I mean, I really don't care, to be quite frank with you. I mean, we'll see what happens. I don't think Bill Belichick's going to get fired. I really don't. I don't see it happening. Dude's got
Do you
way
see a separation happening?
like him getting removed as the de facto GM.
Or
And like walking
them
away.
or them being like, we have mutually agreed to part ways.
Or better yet, will Bill Belichick be the head coach next year?
Uh, man, I mean, that is a tough one. I say it's about 50-50. I think Bob Kraft, he's probably going to be like, okay, I know this dude is an absolutely garbage. This dude's a legendary coach. However, it's his first time really having that top 5 pick. Maybe there could be some stuff happening. And if he does decide to gamble on that and restructuring the team next year, and I think that if he doesn't produce at a high level the following year, that will be it.
Hmm.
But
See,
I don't know.
that's interesting. That's interesting. I think there's no way in hell that he's back with the Pats next year.
I
But
gotta agree there.
but I can also see Robert Kraft being so stupid, like, living in the past, living in the heyday, like you just kind of mentioned. That's true. Bill Belichick's never had that high of a draft pick, and who knows? Patriots could go on a run and not even have that high of a draft pick.
Kraft?
Man, that game was.
Sorry.
I was just gonna say that game. I mean, it's giving you no confidence that they're not a good team.
Kraft had an interview before the game, and
Yeah.
he was asked pretty directly, about it, and he was clear. He was like, "We are not in a good place. This is not where we want to be at all." Blah blah blah, and that just kind of makes me think, is this year the culmination of Kraft souring on Belichick? Because Kraft said, "Okay, Bill, you win. We'll we will not give Tom the extension. We will not resign him. Like we will let him go to Tampa." Um, and Tom won a Super Bowl in Tampa. And I think ever since Brady won the Super Bowl, or even since Brady separated, I think Kraft has maybe started looking at Bill a certain way. And now the product has gone sour. So I think Kraft, I don't know. I could definitely, I don't know if he would fire him, but I think maybe he would like close door fire him, be like, okay, we're done here. We're not gonna extend you again and blah, 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 blah. And we're just gonna mutually separate. That, I don't know. That's how I read that, is that Kraft was kind of at the end of his rope with him.
You think
Right.
there's any chance he gets removed as head coach, but kind of stays in like an operation position, somewhat similar, and it's a totally different situation, but somewhat similar to like the other Boston team, the Celtics, with what they did with Brad Stevens?
No, because Brad Stevens wasn't head of basketball operations before that. I don't think Belichick would ever, you know, it would have to be voluntary, and I don't see anyone on the staff who he would give that up to. Yeah.
Yeah, if only Josh McDaniels stayed a couple more years. But that's the thing. That's the thing. If they do move on from Bill in the middle of the year, they already have one of the most sought after potential head coaches on their staff, somebody who's been with that organization for 15 years or so, Gerard Mayo. I mean, that'd be a perfect situation for him to come in, be the interim, see how it works, see if there's a culture shift, and see if he's the guy going forward.
Yeah, that could. I think that's the way to go. I think if you, it would be, and write this down. I mean, don't, but do. But it wouldn't surprise me if Belichick leaves, I could see Harbaugh coming in. Especially with what's going on at Michigan right now.
He's a cheater, bro. He fits the part.
Okay, somebody's gonna really have to explain this whole sign stealing thing.
I don't get it
because I can see the signs on TV. You know, like
I don't understand.
Here's the thing: everybody fucking cheats, right? Everybody. That's what we need to come to terms with. If you're not cheating, you're not trying. I mean, that's the Patriots way. But teams have been caught
soft
numerous times. But because the most successful teams get caught, the higher the cons are. I mean, during the Patriots heyday, I mean, they were always put on blast. But I'm sure there was like the Steelers got caught one year doing something. I think it was like the crowd noise in the stadium or something like that. You guys remember that?
Yeah, they were pumping in crowd noise. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. There's been other teams.
The Falcons did that too.
Yeah, I mean, there's other teams to do. Like they jumbled a opponent's comms. I've heard that before. Have you guys?
I've heard of that too. Yeah.
Yes, I mean,
it's mess with the frequencies.
Something like that. Fucking counter
you know a lot about this, dude.
Well, because I mean, dude, my baseball team has been caught cheating, and actually, no.
You're an Astros fan?
No, I'm a Red Sox fan. I'm Alex Cora was kind of like the guy that was affiliated with that. He was
yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
then y'all hired him again.
Yeah, that's a good. I know, fucking terrible. That's a good example, though. It's like the Astros. They're cheating, and guess what? They're World Series champions. Michigan's cheating. They're top 4, college football team. It's like the whole cheating thing to me it's exhausting.
Overplayed.
Because it's just like, okay, yeah, all these teams are cheating. We get it. You have these old white dudes who are like, oh, they're ruining the integrity of the game. It's like, dude, back in the 80s, everybody was juiced on steroids. It's like, fucking,
doing fucking coke.
Who cares, man?
All I know is, they mentioned it. I think we talked about it. This game was horrible. 10-6, couple missed field goals. Both teams, quarterbacks turned it over. Such a boring game, dude. 10-6, like nothing was that entertaining about it whatsoever. Right?
I mean,
and this used to be. Sorry, go ahead.
No, finish.
I was just gonna say this used to be like, maybe it's because I'm a Colts fan, but this used to be like one of the best, if not the best, rivalry in football. And even like after Peyton left to the Broncos and Andrew Luck came in, it was entertaining. Yeah, it was one-sided as fuck, but it was entertaining. And then to go to this, dude, is just, man, it's sad.
It's the past now. Now it's now you got this new age type of QB. You're not looking at a pocket passer anymore, like a 6'5" pocket passer. You're looking at, maybe 6 foot mobile QBs running, different rollouts and shit like that, which I think is fun. It's exciting, but I don't know. I kind of have a bit of despair when it comes to sports. I mean, obviously, I was a huge fan in the past, but I think now it's just, I don't know, man.
You're not into it like you used to be.
Yeah,
what do you think it is?
Well, I mean, first of all, my boy, my childhood hero, Tom Brady, man. I mean, that guy's gone, so that sucks. But okay, here's one thing I did want to bring up in the podcast, like the narrative around Tom Brady, right? This dude, we all know the 6th pick, whatever, or the 6th round pick. The guy coming from nothing, having to work for what he could get. I mean, I remember watching this interview of him in his first Super Bowl, and it's him and Drew Bledsoe, and Terry Bradshaw is the interviewer, and he's asking Tom Brady, he's like, "What do you drive?" And he's like, "Why do you ask?" He's like, "Just tell me what do you drive." He's like, "Oh, I drive like a beat up old Chevy." And then he asked Drew Bledsoe, and Drew Bledsoe was like, "Oh, dude, I drive a Benz." And it's funny to me how Tom Brady, who used to be this, average Joe, is now like the biggest fucking celebrity in the entire world, dude. I mean, the dude earned it, right? But it's like,
Yeah,
fuck, he totally lost that image of, the average
the
guy.
normal guy.
Yeah, I mean,
I
the dude
think
hero face fat just filled with Botox and shit. It's hilarious.
Oh, and that colored hair.
Yeah.
He's definitely dying that shit. Come on.
I think it's interesting the narrative shift on Tom Brady. I used to absolutely despise the guy. I don't mind him these days, even when he was with the Bucks. I don't know if it was just that Patriots marriage. I don't know what it was. It became much more entertaining and bearable, in my opinion, when he was with the Bucks. Probably just because he was old and you kind of got to respect it. But
Says you.
Well,
see, so maybe it is a rivalry thing.
he kind of accepted that he like went full blown superstar though with the Bucks. Like he was in a ton of ads, getting hella endorsement deals. The Pats, he was always just business. You didn't really see much of that.
You would have never seen Tom Brady fucked up on the boat at a Super Bowl parade.
Facts.
Yeah,
He was baby deer drunk.
I mean that was awesome. But I mean, back to my loss of passion for sports. I honestly don't know. I used to be heartbroken when my teams lost. Boston's the city champions, right? We all know that. They have killer teams. And if they went deep and went to the ship, it broke my heart if they lost. Like, dude, I was heartbroken until the next season. But now it's just like, man, we move on to see another day. People go, people retire, people are, on top of the league MVPs one day, then they're obscure and erased from history. So, I don't know.
Sad.
Yeah, like I said, despair when it comes to sports and shit. But that was the cool thing about Tom, dude. He did it for over 20 years, so you got to put some respect on that shit.
So,
Mac could be there too if we give him time.
oh my God. So, Cade, if what would you want as a Pats fan to happen for the rest of the season?
All right. I think the biggest thing that would be the coolest thing to watch and the most entertaining is clean house.
Mm.
I would love to see that, actually. Get rid of the Patriots way. Get rid of this old 2000 bullshit. Like, start over. Start from scratch. Build a new image. Build a new fucking slogan, please, for the love of God. And let's get a Michael Vick-esque quarterback back there, dude. Lamar Jackson, I love that fucking guy. I want a guy like that, That's what you need in today's game.
I can't believe Lamar Jackson was fucking drafted with the last pick in the first round, and that Sam Darnold, Josh Rosen, and Baker Mayfield were selected ahead of him.
I know, man. I mean, Josh Rogan, dude. Oh my God, where, man?
Do you remember Josh Rosen was like, there were 10 people picked ahead of me. They were fucking mistakes. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do remember that. I thought he was gonna be good too. Maybe I just don't have it with these quarterbacks, dude.
Nah, I mean they're unpredictable. But that guy at Tennessee, I mean, that dude. I saw that guy play, and that guy plays with some fucking grit.
Hayden Hooker?
Last year or the guy this year?
The guy this year is a rookie. He's the one who had like a fear of milk or some shit.
Oh, Will Levis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That guy played.
Yeah, he puts mayo in his coffee.
Yeah. And then another guy that I like, now you guys are gonna be surprised by this. Because honestly, in terms of athleticism, not that like him and Mac are really not that far in between. Kenny Pickett. Dude, because my girlfriend loves the Steelers, right? And I've been watching the Steelers, and dude, the guy fucking wins games.
Yeah.
He's got 13 wins, 13 touchdowns, 13 picks in his career so far.
Before this before this game against the Packers, the Steelers had been outgained in all of their games that they won.
Jeez. You're right, though. Some of those players just win for whatever reason. Like Tim Tebow. I have no idea how the fuck I want to play that game.
Oh, dude, I hated Tim Tebow, man.
I think Caleb Williams would be a really good fit for the Patriots. I really do. But I think you got to clean his house.
No, I'm sorry. You're fucking wrong.
It's a total difference from what's been there ever.
Facts.
That team just needs swagger. The team's like so boring.
Yeah, it's so like it was fun when they were like mechanically dismantling people like the Terminator, but now they're just like one of the sad droids in Star Wars.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. They do need some fucking swag, dude. That's why when Cam played, I was like, all right, fuck yeah, we got something new. Obviously we got him, probably on the downside of his career, big time. I think didn't he play for us last, or did he go to the Panthers again? He went to
he went to the Panthers.
Went back after you cut him.
Yeah, but I mean, I totally agree. That's why I don't know. I mean, honestly, dude, if we're still shit for like the next 3 years, Arch Manning, I would love to have him. And I mean, no one's really seen him play, but I think it's the name that I would like to see. And plus, him playing for the Patriots would be hilarious.
It wouldn't be right. And if you ended up giving Marvin Harrison Jr. too,
dude,
no,
that would
it's
nice.
I think this game just highlighted it. Neither of these teams, the Colts or the Patriots, have many primetime games lately. You can kind of consider this a primetime game. It was the only one on TV at the time. It's streamed on the NFL Network. And it was not good football. Very, very unentertaining. Very boring.
Colts are going to get more games next season because Anthony Richardson was really fun.
Yeah,
that is true.
I wanted him. I wanted him so bad, dude.
That's rough.
I thought he was going to fall in the draft into our hands, to be completely honest.
Yeah, his rise to the top of the first round was pretty entertaining.
But that's one of the things too, it's like he was drafted really not based on his stats, but of how much of a fucking beast he was.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the same thing. I couldn't make a comment about DK Metcalf. I mean, that dude fell, and look how he turned out. It's because he's a fucking unit.
There you go.
He rose up. But, I mean, what else am I going to add to this?
Anything else on the game before we take a break?
Clean house. Fuck the Patriot way. Goodbye, Beck.
You're right. This isn't even fun. We used to argue and go back and forth after these games. Now it's just fuck the Patriots. Fuck the Patriot way.
You know me. I just who fucking cares, man. We're all gonna die.
Oh my god, that's how much things have fallen, huh?
Roll Tide.
Anyway, Cade, I'm sorry it's gotten to this.
Facts. Sorry it's gotten to this, but appreciate you for pulling up and joining us on the pod today. Yeah, man. Sorry again. Hopefully you get Drake May or Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah. For everybody in the Plan C, sphere, I'm glad I could give an uplifting interview.
All right. Well, peace out, man, and we'll talk to you in the future.
All right.
Peace. And we're back. So we talked about a really boring game, and that was fun. But I think now we need to move on to the actual amazing football that happened in week 10. So in week 10, we had 11 one-score games. We also had 5 game-winning field goals as time expired in the fourth quarter, which was the most in a single day in NFL history on Sunday. So that was really cool. And then we had another game-winning field goal as time expired today. So that was really awesome, and so just really fun to see. And I think a good place to start, because we talked about both of them last week, is the Texans versus the Bengals. And we're gonna kind of just quick fire these games, just because of the format of how we did things today. But what did you get to catch this game at all?
I did. Um, I always keep a close tab on Texas, on all the AFC South games.
Right,
Um,
right.
Plus, I had quite a bit of players in fantasy wise in that game. And so surprisingly, I don't know why, but I had my finger on the pulse, and I was surprised. I turned away again, second fucking week in a row. I turned the game away, thinking that the Texans were going to lose, and all of a sudden they come back, kick another field goal at the end of the game.
Yeah, it was really incredible, because it for a while it looked like the Bengals were kind of on fraud watch. CJ Stroud was just really doing his thing. He kind of looked like Joe Burrow, actually, just in terms of making the really hard throws while kind of getting caved in, because that's not a good offensive line. It's not. Um, and just back and forth, back and forth. Bengals get a pick six out of nowhere, and it's just it was one of those. It was like a Madden. It was like a Madden match, where there's just a ton of scoring right at the end. And I mean, man, we talked about C.J. Stroud last week being that guy, and hey, he just did it against a decent Bengals defense, if not good Bengals defense. So yeah, anything else on this game?
No, I think it's impressive. Again, like the way that these games are being won, and they're not against horrible teams, really not. Like you just mentioned, I think that's really kind of what we got to keep an eye on. Like I
Yeah,
said, they got the ball back again with a minute 33 after the game was over. They 5 plays, they go down, kick a field goal to win it.
with a
Um,
kicker who hasn't been with the team.
Shout out Amendola,
Backs.
not Danny, but
Danny, not Amendola.
yes, I think the big picture wise, this game is pretty big. I think it helps one of the other games we're about to talk about, that the Browns came back and upset the Ravens.
Mm.
Helps the Bengals out, right? Because the Bengals are on a bit of a roll. But I think, and I've seen this talk quite a bit. I keep seeing this debate. I mean, the numbers and the way that CJ Stroud has the Texans rolling,
You
he's
think they
got
can
to
win?
somewhat be.
You think they can win the
Well,
division and him be for MVP?
that's what I was going to touch on. MVP conversation for sure. If he keeps playing at this rate, yes, he would. I mean, there's only been one other rookie to ever win MVP. That's Jim Brown.
Shout out Jim
Um,
Brown.
Division, yes, I do. The Titans are a mess. The Colts are a mess. The Colts can make a decent noise with a favorable schedule going into the end of the season, but I don't see it. If they can beat the Jags, who I still don't, I'm still not seeing it 100% with the Jags.
I mean,
I'm
they
still
proved
not.
that this weekend.
And I think I joked with you the last couple of days that I still don't see it 100% with Trevor Lawrence. I full heartedly mean that. Baker Mayfield is playing way better than Trevor Lawrence this season. I just want to point that
Mm.
out. More yards, more stats, or more yards, more touchdowns, less picks. Put it out there.
That's crazy.
Um,
That's a good pull.
the Texans played the Jags this week. That game's gonna be huge. If they can keep it up, get on that win streak, that's gonna be huge. I mean, just the fact that the Texans are at where they're at, with how divided the fan base was after that tie in Week 18 last year, with Lovie Smith getting fired. I mean, they could lose out for the rest of the season, and they should be very, very happy.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed. Moving on, you mentioned the Browns and the Ravens. I'd say that was probably the best game of the week, depending on what fan base you are a part of. But this, you want to talk about, not necessarily back and forth, but a massive comeback by the Browns, and sort of just out of nowhere. Crazy that, Lamar had a couple of, I mean, I don't want to say they were bad turnovers because the pick six was tipped, but hey, maybe Baltimore is, not as good as we thought. I think through three quarters of the game, everyone was like, "Yep, business as usual." The Ravens had a defensive score. Shout out Kyle Hamilton, who we shouted out last week. And it was looking great. And I don't know, did Deshaun wake up? Is the defense just that fucking good that they can just take over games when they need to?
I'm gonna stop
Yeah.
you right there. That's what it is. It is not Deshaun. It is not Deshaun Watson. He started that game off 1 for 9, 9 yards and a pick. He went on a bit of a run. I think he completed 12 passes in a row to start the second half, but it's not because of Deshaun Watson. I'm telling you that right now. That defense is that damn good. I mean, they won 2 tough games with PJ Walker. I mean, I'm not
Yeah,
gonna give Deshaun any credit.
Myles Garrett is 1,000% defensive player of the year right now.
Yes.
And I don't know how close
he's that whole unit. He's that entire unit.
He's just he looks like an action figure, dude.
Yeah, he looks unreal.
His arms are so fucking massive. It's insane. He is I look at him and I'm like, we're the same species? What? He can do what? You sure that's not an alien?
DK Metcalf next to Rodrigo.
Oh yeah. I just want to highlight here. Gus Edwards had a 1-yard touchdown, but it is not the touchdown, but the path to the touchdown that was truly, truly glorious. We had a muffed punt that led to a touchdown, but then there was holding. Oh no, wait, I'm sorry, I messed up. There was a 3rd and 9 that was incomplete, but there was holding on the play, so that gave the Ravens a new set of downs. Then, on that next play, Ravens scored a touchdown with Justice Hill, but that was negated by a holding call. Baltimore gets a false start after a Lamar run. Lamar runs again for 7 yards. Lamar gets picked off, but then it's another defensive holding. So it was holding in the end zone, so that means, they get 5 more yards. Gus Edwards rushes for 4 yards. Gus Edwards rushes for 1 yard. Touchdown. And the Gus Edwards touchdown was a part of a 10-to-1 parlay. Mm-hmm. And baby, oh baby, did it hit. And Gus Edwards wasn't getting the ball for the rest of the game. And he did not. And
he wasn't getting it before
that was a ride.
It was fun to watch, man. I mean, who does this game? What does this game say more to you about, the Ravens or the Browns?
100% the Browns. I think the Ravens were due for a bad game. And this isn't even a bad game, I think that if you're a Ravens fan, you are upset, but you also, this was a really weird game. And you still put up 31 points on this Browns defense. I think they're freaky plays, like the pick six that allowed the Browns to, well, they didn't tie because they went for 2, but the Browns were able to get some freaky deaky plays. And I think, you look at your team, you look at how, good of a team you are, you say, okay, you know what? We fucked up in the second half. We fucked up in the fourth. Lamar had a bad pick, things went wrong, blah, blah, blah. I think you're perfectly fine. Just burn the tape and whatever. But no, if I'm the Browns, I'm like, dude, we are fucking incredible. Our defense is amazing. Deshaun played well enough that we were able to win the game. Yeah. What say you?
I gotta push back. Well, personally, I disagree. I'm gonna push back because I think
Okay.
an argument could be made either way. I think this says a lot more about the Ravens. The Browns, I mean, they've shown that they're gonna be they're this team. They're the scrappy defensive team. They've already have a couple good wins recently without Deshaun. That kind of proved that they can hang. Mainly that win over the 49ers has started a little bit of a downfall. The Ravens, I mean, they needed this. I think they'll be okay. But man, it's such a huge collapse in such a tight AFC North division where again, going into the week, all four teams were slated to make the playoffs. They all had that they were all up there and on top of
And the
on top of the
Steelers
AFC.
fucking won again. How do the Steelers keep
Exactly.
winning? It doesn't make
Exactly.
sense.
Exactly. So having that tough division win over the Browns, over a team who's right on your tails, would have been huge in my opinion. Again, they can't they choked. They had that game. They were up big. They let Deshaun come back, and it's just doesn't give you much. I mean, I don't think he's going to knock your confidence that much, but now they got to go face another AFC North team on Thursday night. Granted, it's the other team who lost, who we just talked about, is the Bengals. So they're both coming off like I think this is a must-win game for both these teams. So you kind of put yourself from top AFC, top seed in the AFC to now a must-win game 5 days later.
Yeah, it's weird. It's such a and it's a division that's really going to cannibalize itself. Because it looks like there are 4 playoff teams in this division, and because they all play each other, it doesn't really. I don't think that 4 teams will make it. But at this rate, like, oh my god, I really don't know. I really don't know because it could totally happen. It could
Steelers
totally
will
fucking
collapse.
happen. You think the Steelers will collapse?
I think so. I mean, we kind of talked about it a little bit before. They are not winning in ways that I think is sustainable.
They've been outgained in every single game,
Yes.
and they're
That
6-3.
and
Just
yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on. Did you watch much of Steelers Packers?
That game I was peeking back and forth. I couldn't say I watched it all too much. Another close game. But the Steelers appear to have had that game on lock for pretty early on, from what I saw.
Yeah, it was like it was a game that it felt over for a while, but then the Packers did the thing they do all year where like they suddenly wake up and they're like throwing long touchdown passes and and it's close and suddenly the Packers have a chance and nothing. Unless you're the Saints, then they beat the Saints. Yeah, so Steelers like cool, but I don't know. I think they've done enough to this point to make the playoffs. And the Packers are just bad. Packers are a bad football team. I think the Packers are like probably the unlucky version of the Saints, or like, it's just bound. It was bound to happen, but we've just gotten bailed out by our talent a little more than you guys. Sorry, Packers fans. Just let's do this next one quickly because I hate it. Saints lost to the Vikes. This game was, I feel like, closer, especially in the second half, than it was stated. Josh Dobbs just really just doo-dooing on the Saints. Derek Carr ruled out with concussion and shoulder injury. And then Jameis comes in and just absolutely cooks. Something that shouldn't be discounted is that the Saints lost Michael Thomas, Marshawn Lattimore, and Derek Carr during the game, but they looked better with Jameis Winston behind the quarterback, behind, the controls. And then in the crucial drive, Jameis throws just an awful pick, just truly an awful pick. Rashid Shaheed also has a really bad penalty. He was offside on, how are you a wide receiver and you're offside? I know it has to involve with lining up over the ball, but that's still just like that's some basic shit. That's some standard shit. Saints go into a bye week. They're now 5-5. I am not sure how I'm feeling about this team right now. I think we'll win the division purely because this is a bad division. There's maybe half of a good football team in this division. And that's the Saints defense when they want to be good. Got killed by Josh Dobbs, but in the second half only held the Vikings to 3 points. But meh. Anything about the Saints Vikes game?
A couple things stood out to me. One, super, super impressive what Josh Dobbs is doing right now.
Yeah.
A video went viral before the game. Dude had to be showed where the home locker room was.
Oh yeah, I saw I got lost in the stadium.
So, yeah, he has not been there that long. He's playing good. It's not like he's just getting his team.
No, exactly. That's the crazy thing. He looked like Randall Cunningham again. Cunningham against us. Like it was really obnoxious.
And like you said, it's a pretty good Saints defense. So I mean that's fun to watch. Alontae Taylor's playing out of his mind, by the way. I know you mentioned that Marshawn Lattimore got hurt.
Alontae Taylor also got hurt yesterday, but I think he came back into the game.
That'd be
but yeah, one. No, Alontae and Paulson, like the Saints corners are playing so fucking well.
Yeah, those top 4 guys are killing it.
Yeah, and we forget Isaac Yiadom also had a crazy ass game. It's really crazy to have this much talent and to be like this bad. That's what just breaks my brain about the Saints. It's like the wide receiver room is good. The running back room is really solid. Cornerback, the freaking secondary room is solid. The defensive line on paper, you'd think it would be solid. Offensive line was supposed to be good, but so much for that.
Yeah. Sorry, man.
Anyway, these things happen. Unfortunately, Dennis Allen is going to probably be the Saints coach next year, but it's okay because Arthur Blank said that Arthur Smith is going to be the head coach of the Falcons in 2024, baby. Let's keep it running. Yes, sir. Anyway, speaking of Arthur Smith, his dumbass lost to the 1-win Cardinals, to the happiness of all Bears fans. I did not watch a minute of this game. Well, no, that's not true. I did watch Kyler a little bit. But looking back at it, Kyler looks like he played great. There was a great highlight of him scrambling around for like days and days and days. And
on third down, to go win the game.
Yeah. Didn't throw a touchdown, but ran for one, threw a pick. Whatever. First game back. Desmond Ridder comes in for Heineke because I think Heineke got injured, but didn't really matter because I don't know. It feels like the Falcons just kind of do the same shit. And I think the Falcons are kind of destined to be cursed. They're kind of like the Chargers. Where like no matter the talent, no matter what, it's just they're gonna fall on their face. And it seems to happen year after year after year after year. Yeah, I don't know. Sad, man.
It was a good game.
Speaking of another great game, Chargers Lions. This was a game I was able to watch. This is why I was not watching the game with the Falcons and Cardinals because I wanted to watch every minute of this game. And boy, oh boy, was I lucky to do so. I want to, if it's cool with you, I want to start with the Chargers. Because this team is so confusing. This team is so confusing. Because if you look at their defense, you'd be like, oh, yeah, they have a great defense. On paper. You know, Asante Samuel, Joey Bosa, Derwin James, Kenneth Murray, Khalil Mack. These are all good players.
At each level.
Yeah. And they just like, this game was not because of the offense at all. They literally could not stop Jared Goff, which is so funny. And
people can't.
It just like, it melts my mind because how long does Brandon Staley get to keep his job? Aren't you supposed to be a defensive mastermind? Like, you have...
He came from Buffalo, correct?
I thought he was
Carolina.
Sean McVay's defensive coordinator.
Okay, I'm totally lost. Regardless, he came from a good defense. I'm gonna have to look this up now. But, you know, I mean, how many times are we gonna talk about this guy fucking it up for his team? Granted, he didn't make any boneheaded mistakes that stood out, any bad calls going forward.
But it's his defense, man.
Whatever. The dude just does not have that team humming right now. I'm actually not all that surprised. I think
I'm not surprised.
Beginning of the week, or beginning of the year, beginning of the season, that this dude this team is just not it. I'm also not a huge believer in Justin Herbert, personally. I think it's all, you're right, Rams defensive coordinator. I think it's all flash. Like, dude, there's it's not all there. I just don't see it. It's overrated. Dude can't win. He continues to show that he can't win. He's never won anything big in his life. And he's going to be tied to that team forever. No matter who they bring in, no matter how many first-round wide receivers that they draft, they're going to do nothing.
You think it's Phillip Rivers all over again?
I do. But at least Phillip Rivers had personality and was entertaining to watch.
Yeah, Justin Herbert, you don't get a lot from him.
Which is cool, right? That was one of the knocks coming against him coming out of college, which I always thought was stupid. But
he's boring.
It's boring. It's a boring team, dude.
Which is weird because Keenan Allen, Austin Eckler, Justin Herbert, you'd think like, you look at those numbers and you're like, wow, you should be a lot better. But
they should be a lot better. Like, this is a team that could beat anybody, but it's, at the same time, it's a team that could lose to anybody, and that's much worse in my opinion.
Yeah. Do you want to go over any games before we get out of here?
I think we got to touch super quickly on this Monday night game.
Okay, that's fine.
That just unfolded before our eyes.
Yeah, that while we were recording the Patriots first half.
Yeah.
So
break it down, because you had a better. I missed it. You caught me up on a nice.
Yeah. So
break it down.
Basically, Denver has gone into Buffalo and beaten the Bills on a last-minute field goal. And what I will do is let me read you Denver's last drive, just so you can sort of understand what was going on, because there was some chicanery before what I said. Okay,
before you get into this last drive, let me break it down.
Yeah, what's up?
The Broncos scored with a few minutes left, botched the kick, botched the extra point, and we're only up 6. And the Bills marched down the field like nothing and scored to go up by 1 with a minute left. Go for it.
Yeah. So score is 21-22. Buffalo is ahead. Russell Wilson pass middle, catch made by Pirine, gain of 18 yards. So he had like a little dump off to him. Buffalo takes a timeout. Oh, hold on. I thought I had to sneeze. I might still sneeze. Nope, I'm not going to sneeze. Thank you. I appreciate that. Russell Wilson steps back to pass incomplete. 2nd and 10. God damn it. Thank you. I'm keeping it in. Russell Wilson scrambles middle for 4 yards. 3rd and 6 at basically midfield. Wilson catch by Pirine, catch made 8 yards. Then catch made by Adam Troutman. Shout out former Saint. Gain of 6 yards. Wilson gets sacked on a 0 blitz. So the ball is now at the 35, 3rd and 10. Sean McDermott calls a 0 blitz again. Russell Wilson passes incomplete, but it's short. And you know what that means this day and age, baby. Pass interference. Teron Johnson pass interference, 28 yards. The ball is at the 17, 29 seconds left. Russell Wilson kneels, gets all of Buffalo's timeouts. Now, Denver doesn't have any timeouts either. And so then it's 3rd and 3 at the 20, and Buffalo is just kneeled. So they need to run their people run on their field goal unit as fast as possible, and take that kick. Will Lutz kicks. It is no good. The field goal is no good. There's a flag. Buffalo, too many men on the field. 12 guys on the field. Will Lutz kicks again. Hits a 31-yard field goal. The game is over. Wow, what a way to get kicked in the dick. I'll just start off by saying that. Just, oh my God, just in terms of the things that have been happening to Buffalo this season, it really falls in line with what feels like just maybe not a season from hell, but the Bills are 5-5 now. And I don't think anyone coming into the season really expected them to be in this position. And they've had very winnable games that they seem to just have, like, I don't know, they seem to just throw up on themselves.
Yeah. I think we said we're going to give them one more week. If this kind of continues, it might have to be something we focus on a little bit more.
Yeah, 100%.
Shout out to the Broncos. The Broncos have beaten the Chiefs and the Bills.
And gotten 9 turnovers out of the 2 of them.
Crazy. That's pretty impressive.
Crazy.
Fantastic game. Can't believe I missed the end of it. What a good week of football.
It was a really crazy week of football.
We joked about it earlier, but even the Sunday night game between the Raiders and the Jets, entertaining. Came down to a Hail Mary that Conklin straight up slapped out of Garrett Wilson's hands.
That was really funny. Yeah. No, it was a really, really good it was a really, really good like Sunday of football, even though we started with 10-6 Colts and then what was it, 9-16 to the Jets. It was ugly football, but I would honestly prefer a close ending than a blowout. Even if it was like a really shit game. Because you know what? Sometimes shit games are fun to watch. Like, it was kind of fun to watch the Colts-Patriots game because you just knew Mac Jones was going to do something atrocious. And he did. Yeah. Yeah. Anything
next week compares.
Anything else before we get out of here?
No, I'm excited. I think both our teams are on a bye week, right? So maybe we'll go a pod without talking about our teams pretty heavily. We'll see.
Buffalo Bills, you're on A block alert. Buffalo Bills, you are on A block alert.
Yes.
Who do they play next week?
I was just.
Oh, they play the Jets. Oh my God! If they lose to
week
the
1.
Jets, please, that would be so fun.
They already lost to them once this year.
If they lose at home to the Jets, I think the Bills fans might riot.
We'll see. I don't see it happening. It's a much different Jets team. They're pretty.
I don't know.
Aaron
Rodgers coming back in December, and I was a little annoyed because I had a free IR spot open, and I went to go pick up Aaron Rodgers from my IR spot, and I saw you had already picked him up.
I picked him up last week. I saw that dude throwing like nothing. I said, you know what? Might as well. I don't think he's actually going to come back, but
I mean, shit. If you have an IR spot, you have an IR spot. That's what I would have done. Anyway,
well, it's been fun, man.
Thank you for joining the podcast. Thank you for having Cade and bringing him on. Appreciate you, Cade. Make sure you're liking, sharing, subscribing. We are on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Breaker, Anchor, Google Podcasts. We're all over the place. Check us out. Check out previous episodes. I have a fun episode coming on Friday. That is something that is totally different than what we've been doing. So if you're listening now, look forward to that little 20-minute podcast that I did with a friend. First in-person recording in a very long time. So that is also a victory. Yeah, AJ, thank you for pulling up late night. This will be coming out on a Tuesday morning, so happy Tuesday to those who listen. And yeah, thanks, y'all.
Awesome, man. Have a good one.
You too, man. Peace out, Plant Seed people.
Peace.